Hello, it is Jamie at the Bead Gallery, and today I am partially at home. And so I thought I would jump in and kind of show you what I'm working on today before I get my day started. Hang on one second. I'm just going to double check that everything is going smoothly before we get going. So while I do that, so being creative is really, really important, right? It's like one of our superpowers. And what's really nice about that is when you spend time problem solving, creating, making, it really can add to your, what do you want to call it? Your mana, your energy. And so what I'm going to do right now is show you what I'm going to do to get myself ready for the day. So let me turn this around and put this down. Let's see how that looks. Get my light a little bit brighter for y'all and see if that works. Okay, lots of mess happening. We are in my studio, and I thought I have so many things to do, like so many things on my mind. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. If you want to chat with me, go ahead. I do have my computer on. Let me see if I can make my screen a little bigger. Aha. All right. So I have my tools. I'm going to be using a chain nose plier, a flat nose plier. I do have a round. I think I dropped that somewhere. Hold on. A round nose. No, that's a cutter. Hold on. This project won't get very far without my round nose pliers. Ah, here they are. Some round nose pliers. I have a bunch of wires and some different things. So I thought I'd just walk you through my process because I find that seeing how other people think when they bead is really helpful. Okay. So one of the first things I'm working on is a project for a customer. She asked me if I would wire wrap these little mochis for her. So I was like, oh, what a great time to kind of review basic wire wrap and what else? Good morning and some other fun things. So first, let's talk about headpins. Headpins. So this is going to be off the cuff. I really have to work on my bill paying today and some other things. I was in a morning webinar this morning about live streaming, and I learned a lot. And one of the things Laria reminds us is like, don't be a perfectionist, just go and do it. And I was like, okay, I am still in my stay-at-home outfit. But I don't know if you saw, I threw on some pearls to make it look fancy. So let's talk about headpins. This is a 22 gauge 2-inch headpin. This is a 24 gauge 1.5-inch headpin. And a lot of times people are like, what do you use when you are creating? I have both of these at home. And specifically, I actually have my 22 gauge in 2 inches, my 24 gauge in 1.5 inches. I don't have all the sizes and everything because I find that if I'm doing something kind of dainty and the whole size is smaller, I generally stay on the shorter side. Hello, Sylvia. And when I'm doing something heavier, that's a heavier wire wrap, heavier beads, I tend to make it a little bit bigger for whatever reason. And then I like it on a 2-inch headpin. So that is one of the things that I like to do. Ooh, I wonder if I should invite the Ohana to come over. Sylvia, can you run over to the Ohana page and share this link for me? That'd be kind of cool. If they have questions, they can ask me live this morning while I'm here. I never hardly go on in the mornings live. So when you're picking a headpin, or you don't want to carry every single headpin that's out there in the universe, I would say get a 24 gauge 1.5 inches and 22 gauge 2-inch, and then your staples will be covered. So those are my staples. So then I will start stringing it. This particular project I think will fit on this headpin just fine, the 24 gauge. So it is a cost savings too when you don't use the thickest, most expensive headpin when you don't need to, right? So how can you tell if you need to? You stack your project, and if you have at least 1/2 inch of space at the top, then you're good to go. Here's another thing to think about. Freshwater pearls sometimes don't fit on 22 gauge headpins. These do, right on. But sometimes they don't, so you may not be able to even use it because of the size. But here, look at the difference. So I know I don't need to use this thick head pin. I know that the 24 gauge one will work. I'm going to eliminate using this one and probably save at least 30 cents per head pin, at least, because I like to use gold fill. Okay. So I'll show you one more thing that I like to do is pre-string all my projects before I start. So a customer of mine wanted these mochis. She's going to put them on her purse as good luck. And she was like, oh, Jamie, can you wrap it? I was like, of course. My pleasure. My pleasure. So when you're wrapping anything, my advice is to get them all ready all at once and lined up, kind of like little soldiers. I don't know if you guys remember that one episode of Laverne and Shirley where I think they had to cap bottles somewhere. I think they even had that in the preview. And it made me laugh, but that's like, you know, when you are doing something repeated, I always think of that episode. When you're doing something repeated, you want to get all your ducks lined up in a row for like mass production like this. So then they're all ready and stacked. Then I will show you a time savings trick and technique of wrapping. So you're going to pick up your tool one time. Okay. You're going to pinch. I'm going to check my, let me see if I can see what I'm doing as well. You're going to pinch above your top bead and you're going to move to a 90-degree angle. You're going to drop that, pinch again, same amount, drop that. And what's happening by doing it this way is you are not having to pick up the tool multiple times, readjust your grip, put down the tool, pick up the tool again, okay? You're so funny, Sylvia. Let me see if I can share it. Okay, so give me 1 second. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the second one. Oh, I forgot to tell you that these are mochis. So let me explain that a little bit. Okay, and mochi is a Japanese treat. So it is a glutinous rice. So it's taking like a rice grain and then mushing it all up until it becomes like a paste and reshaping it into a little patty. I mean, that's like the basics of it. And we use that to celebrate like the New Year's. You eat it on special occasions. There's so many ways that you can have mochi. So you can fry it, you can deep fry it, you can grill it, you can put it in soup. I mean, it does not end. And it's so tasty because it doesn't really have a taste. So whatever you put it with, it tastes really good. Okay. I'm sharing this with my friends. So that way, if there's any questions about my technique or anything, it's always nice to have people show up and ask, right? Put this here. Thank you for waiting, you guys. This is very impromptu, so I didn't ask anyone to assist me in posting this. All right. So mochi is also used to represent long life. And for family, it is very much of a Ohana type symbol because it has that it has that stick to itness together, right? So then you think of things lasting, people staying together, family. So that has some nice symbolism there. Now let's go to step 2 where you pick up your tool and we will keep going. So Sophie, you're so funny. I went and I posted it. Okay, thanks for waiting. Now, if you want to mark your tool, always keep a Sharpie pen nearby. I usually have like a bunch. Let me find one. And I love to mark my pliers to make it easier to remember where I'm working. So this one doesn't need a really big one. We'll just put it here. Mark at the top, kind of go around in a circle. I don't know if you can hear Waffles behind me. She's like deep breathing. That's my dog. Okay. All right, so you're gonna pinch on the black line, come up, over and down, switch to the bottom jaw, push forward to like a 45-degree angle, and then I like to straighten it out so it kicks out to 90, so when you wrap it's super straight. So we'll do that again. I am going to be doing this as a Zoom this coming Saturday, so if you're on our Facebook group and you're in our Ohana, there is an invite there. You notice how I flipped the plier that time? That speeds it up a little bit so that I don't have to remove the plier. I'm always looking for time-efficient ways. Time-efficient. Boom. So again, mochi, very nice symbolism. Who doesn't like food? Thank you, my sweet girl. Thanks for posting that. So if you, oh my gosh, if you like food, I was going to say, if you like food, comment. So now I'm going to switch to the flat nose pliers and I'm going to wrap. Now, normally, if you are going to make something, now is a great time to add it on, right? Like this. If you add it on now, it's like a permanent finish before we wrap it shut. The thing though is, my customer is probably going to use this as a zipper pull, a purse pull, or something, right? Two things to consider when you give this. I'm out of camera. Oops. Two things to consider when you're doing this is what happens if the clasp breaks, right? Or what happens if the clasp doesn't fit in her zipper or whatever it is that she's going to be attaching it to. So that's consideration number one. And number two is when you wrap directly onto a piece like this, it doesn't really have a hinge. It's kind of a tight fold. So it's almost like if your finger didn't have two joints, you know, and you're trying to hook onto something. It's really, really nice if you add like a hinge piece in between, like a ring, jump ring, then that allows more movement. So what I'm going to be doing is wrapping these shut. So I'm taking my flat nose plier. I'm going to wrap. So this is the next step. So this is only my second tool that I picked up so far, right? Wrap. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to wrap. Okay. And it's, I don't know if you can see how time efficient that is when you don't have to pick up your tool. And you know what the bonus is? You tend to make everything more standardized. So your loops end up being more similar. The amount of wraps you do is more similar because whenever you do any kind of body motion repeatedly, you know, there is that muscle memory that starts to develop. Okay, now I'm going to take my white-handled, wonderful, favorite tool of mine, the white Lindstrom cutter. And if you're lucky and you can cut super close with these cutters like me, you don't have to do much tucking after. Because the tucking part always is when you have a little piece of wire that sticks out. But these cut really, really, really close. So these are rated for like up to, I think, 20 gauge. And so they are tinier than my beauties here. These are rated up to 16 gauge, so you can really get in with that. All right. If you do have something sticking out, you can go in, and I'll try to hold it so you can see, and just kind of pinch it down in a circle because you wrapped in a circle, so maybe don't just attack it flat and press it down. Okay, and go around. Sorry, I'm trying to stay on camera. I know the choices. I want it to be super close so you can see, which means that any movement that I make is that much more in a zoomed in screen. It's magnified so much. So I'm like, am I on there? Okay, so those 4 ends are in, and I will be using a jump ring to attach it. Now, if you've never seen a jump ring attachment, let me know. I'll go find a jump ring and I will do that for you on screen. Otherwise, I'm going to do that when I get to the store because I don't have enough of these little clasps. So I'm going to have to finish this later. But do you guys want to see my next project? Since I have all my tools out and I'm here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start something else. Let's put all my scraps here, get them out of the way. Okay, So this is my earring that I started. This is Bali. No, not Bali. This is Karen Hill Tribe silver beads. So this is from Thailand. These are handmade. And I think what they did was they pinched it, rolled it, so you can see all the hand pinching, and then they soldered it. They're so lovely. I sold these to my friends recently, and that's all I have left. So then I was like, okay, like I have this. And then I had some white pearls. Hang on. So that's one thing I'm working on here. You can look at my other. I'm working on a bracelet too with a Bali silver just going in a circle. I thought that'd be so elegant to wear just by itself. Nothing special, just silver. Okay. One moment while I look for my white pearls. Here they are. So I was like, okay, since you're all here with me right now, we could decide if we want to add some of these on there. Okay. So it's kind of funny. I have the handmade Thai silver elements, right? And I have these check crystal balls. These were made a long time ago. This is like when check crystal balls first became popular. They have some kind of epoxy at the bottom, and then all the crystals are hand set in them one by one. I'm like, that's pretty intense. But I do think it's very pretty. So I think I'm gonna put those in there. And I am trying to write aloha to everybody right now so I can re-trigger my comments. If this is your first time watching me, you will find that I love tech and something else weird. Tech doesn't love me. I have the hardest time sometimes with things just not working. Like right now, I can't see beyond the 10th comment and it's done. So if you're commenting beyond 10, I don't think I can see it. Let me see if I can get out of here. Isn't that weird? Like I'm the admin and I'm always like, what's happening here? Okay, I'm gonna get out of my own live. Reboot it. Okay, so if there are any comments below my aloha, I cannot see it or even above it. This has happened multiple times in the past. So now when I ask, oh, what do you guys think? I won't even know. I'm so sad. Okay. So I'll just go through it myself. I kind of like long earrings. I have short hair, so I like to take advantage of the fact that I can put on long earrings and then you can see all of it. So not sure how I can get like a comment from you all on what you think about this layout. Try to I can't. I can't. So I'm gonna be beading alone. Okay. So I like it. I like it with the sparkle. So that would be closest to my ear. And I think I don't necessarily need the white pearl. So I'm just gonna walk you through my thought processes and be in here. Let's see. That's pretty. Right in the center. Or I can put them at the top. I thought it'd be such an interesting contrast to have something that is man-made in the Czech Republic and it's putting it with a sparkle, right? So normally I don't really match sparkly, pretty, like, night out type crystals with like something more earthy, rustic, handmade in a different country. And then you have this tribal spear at the bottom. But I don't know, I really like the way it makes me feel. Slightly like confused, a little bit like, what's going on here? So I think I might have to go with that. There's some like agate in here too. Ooh, that's kind of cool. The pearl is pretty though. So this is my design process. I keep moving things around until I feel settled in my stomach. Now, if some of you could comment like what your technique is when you're designing, like how you figure out what you're going to be putting in there, or when you stop. That's the thing too. Like, when do you stop? I always like my pearls to match, so this is a little matching trick I have. You kind of push it around, and then when you find two that kind of look the same in size, I put them on a head pin. These are gorgeous pearls too. Holy smokes. Put them next to each other. And if they look like they're close enough, so like when your face is separating it, you're not gonna, oh, the top two are kind of nice. Yeah, the top two are better. Then those are my two. That one's really small. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with those two. Uh-oh, except one is pinker than the other. Uh-oh, now you got me started. Now I can't just pick any pearl. As a teacher, I'm always like, okay, don't do as I do. But, you know, I do want to set a good example. So, uno momento. So speaking of Spanish, I finally, after all these years, reached out because I have to redo the website again. Not by choice. The platform that I'm on upgraded recently, and in order to have my website be optimal, you know, where it's using all the functions and features, I have to redo the site. Ugh. So not what I want to hear, right? I mean, COVID was big enough, learning how to start the website, but only 2.5 years in, I'm like, what? I got to redo it again? Huh. It was quite enough the first time, so I needed to find some help this time around. I have a plate of wires here, look. I do not know what these are. Do you guys do that too? Just throw your wires on something and then be like, this is hope for the best. The thing though is I only work in sterling. Okay, so these I'm wearing these Tahitian pearls because I thought I'd dress up for you guys, and they're so heavy. I have to take them off. I'm like, now they're hot and heavy. Okay. Take this. I'm gonna clean my wire. I always have regret like not cleaning them. And so again, I want to be a good example. I really do. So clean your wire. Hey, if you guys don't mind, I'll be right back while I talk to you. I'm going to try and log in on my computer and see if there's anybody with me. That will give me some idea if I should keep going or not. One moment. Maybe my computer will give me a hint. Okay, so I'm going to clean my wire and go to our video together. And I'm going to look into the chat. All right. Hi, Pikake17. I can see one comment. All right, now I'm going to wrap all of these. I'm going to make this a long earring. I'm going to go for it. Thank you, Michael Davey. Good to know. Okay, so my watcher number, I see that, and that's working. Okay, here we go. This is called an eye pin. So an eye pin is different than a basic wire wrap. And I'm going to be doing eye pins only because every time I do a wire wrap, it's going to add those little wraps here at the bottom. And those wraps right here add length. So I'm going to do something that doesn't add length to the piece. And so, oh, here, let's make a new let's make a new line. Why? Because I want to make slightly smaller loops than the basic wire ones. Let's just see how that works out for us. I'm going to take that on my wire. Am I on screen? Let me double check. I think I am. Let's go right here and I'm going to turn. Oh, it's already 25 minutes. I better hurry. I got so much work to do today. I'm going to make my earrings and then I'll hop out of here. Turn my loop, straighten it out. Very cute. I'll make the other side. And sometimes, you know, when I go live, I will abandon ship, right? I will, oops, don't use this cutter on larger gauge wires. You will dull it out faster than you need to. And one thing you don't want to do is kill the longevity of your pliers when it could actually last a really long time. Okay, so what was I saying? That I don't finish my projects a lot of times. So I think the last time I went live, I was making a super cute pair of earrings and I only finished half and I found the other half. So I think what I need to do is just hop on with you guys and bead a little bit more. Do you guys want to bead more together? Like, so I can commit to, I don't know, 1 day a week and that we can bead together and pull out your supplies. I'm definitely a social beader. When we had the store, it was so much fun to see what the customers are working on, answer the questions, and interact that way. I almost cried the other day because I was looking at photos of the store right before we closed with COVID. And I was like, oh my God, it was beautiful. All the gems were on the walls. I mean, like, I think that was the first time in 2.5 years that I took a break, looked at what we had accomplished in 23 years and what we just had to walk away from. And it was junk. That was such a junk feeling. I mean, it was overwhelming and it's the first time I felt sad. It's the first time I gave myself the license to feel sad after all this time of rebuilding to an online store. But it was, yeah. Well, I guess that's just how life is. You know, I do study a lot of Buddhist practices and everything, and this is the first thing I ever stamped for myself as a bracelet, was this saying, which is a very Buddhist saying. Everything is of the nature to change. Everything is of the nature to decay. So, I mean, understanding it is one thing. Experiencing it, as you all know, is quite another. So, then again, if I still had the store, I would not have the online sense that we have developed to survive. And I have to say, that's been a very exciting journey. Because I feel like after 25 years of beading, I am just starting to get my groove into being able to share everything we've learned. And there's a lot. Just need the time and a forum, right? What would people do when they retire? You know, if you had a job you loved for so long, would you retire? And then, if you didn't love it, why would you continue doing it after you retire as a hobby? Oh my goodness. I'm just laughing because I'm trying to figure out like how to create more time, right? And you're like, after I retire, but then what's the chances of retiring when you want to keep doing what you're doing? Okay. So these are eye pins. Eye pins, they're not really hard to do. They are a little bit of a challenge though if you want to get them just right, you know? Size-wise, everything-wise. So like this one, not moving hardly. This one has a little bit of a shift. that's kind of like, I wouldn't say the word is bothering me, but I do like them a little bit tighter. So it is worth the time to cut it, to trim, and re-roll. Now, I've been teaching these eye pins for, I don't know, 24 years, because we've been in business 25 now. And I guess I should teach it the way I would want my students to do it. And I should do it that way myself. There. 2 more. And one of the nice things about doing it with 4 is the loop on this. Well, let me double check my math, my placement. The loop on this is front to back, right? The next loop is going to be side to side. And this one is going to be front to back. So side to side, front to back. Then this one would be side to side. And that's perfect because the ear wire is front to back. So if I only had 3 pieces, then I would have to turn one of these loops to fit the ear wire more properly. Oh, that's really pretty. Just like that. Nope, I'm gonna put the pearl in. And you know what the best part about using eye pins is? If you don't like it, you just open up that one and take it right out. So there's not really a loss to your time or your work, because guess what? You can use those eye pins again. Now, I can hammer out the eye pins. 2 reasons. 1, it will strengthen it, and 2, it'll give it a different look. So I'm like, okay, do I do that? If you didn't notice right by now, because I didn't say it, but you know, I always say it, you always want to be flush cutting your wire before you do anything, okay? So flush cut your wire. And I'll show you what that means. Sylvia, am I even on screen? Let me get my body closer. It's a hard thing. I have to keep my pliers closer to my face. And right now I'm working about 1 foot from my body to get into the camera. So that means I can't really see what I'm doing. And if you keep wondering why I keep moving it off screen towards me, it's because I can't see what I'm doing. That's the truth. It's not because I don't want to show it to you. It's I can't see what I'm doing. I don't even think I'm in focus. This might be a horrible video. I can't even see through the screen from the top view either, because I have to look at what I'm doing. So I am always looking for improvement. Comment away and just be like, Jamie, I can't see. You know what I could do? I could put, hold on. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I'll put 1 bead directly where I have to put my hands. Okay. All right. I'll try that. Okay, so that was a flush cut. So always make sure that the ends of your wires are flush cut. I could probably do just 1 segment on flush cutting. That better? Is that better now? I think it is. Okay. You definitely want to keep all your loops the same size. I was recently doing a project and I was like, I don't really care. And then 1 earring came out longer than the other because my eye pins were off. And I laughed because I was like, oh my God, good thing those are mine. I didn't go back and fix it because I was like, I want to wear them. Funny enough, nobody even noticed, right? Uh-oh. So guess what? I forgot to account for the fact that this has a pretty big loop and thick. So I might not be able to get... Thank you, Sylvia. I'm going to pay more attention. Tell me if after I put the tie bead here and I'm aiming for it, if that helped. You know what I could also do? Why don't I bring the camera close? So sometimes I lack common sense too. I have the camera so far in on the table. I'm like pressed, my stomach's like pressed against the table really hard. I was like, let me just move the camera closer. All right, bummer. I did not account for the fact that this loop will have to be big, right? So I'm gonna have to redo something. Which arrangements do you like? Let's look at it. I'm gonna say like A or B, and then let me see if you like the A or the B. I guess that'll be A. A or B? I will wait to hear. Gosh, I hope everybody likes A, because I like A. The pearls, I don't know if you can see, but can you tell that this color is different than the other four? Can you even see the pearls? Thank God everybody here likes A. Why? Because I was like, the easiest fix is if I just wrap 2 more pearls. And I was like, you know, I'm not a lazy beater by any means, but redoing something sucks. And I only have 2 of these black crystal ones, so I'd have to redo those. Plus, I like the look of it. Okay, so can you tell that these pearls are different colored? This one is not the same. These are more pink. These 3. This one is more whitish, little bit like a shade. So whenever you're sorting through your pearls, try to use really good lighting. So not only are you getting your sizes like matching, you're gonna get the color matching too. Because a lot of times people will just sell it to you and be like, that's all white. But even when you sort the strand, there's gonna be a little bit of color differences. All right, so I'm gonna redo those 2. That's the bottom one, so I'm gonna have to make it big enough. Look what they did too on this shape. Darn it. They put a little, this is probably like a pendant, so it's okay that they put this here at the top. But for my purpose, I have to make a loop that's big enough to get around that. Let's see if I can. Okay, let us see. So I'm gonna take my round nose plier, and I have to get, so I'm gonna take my plier, I'm gonna look at the diameter and look at how much I have to get over it. Oh my God, that's a lot. I don't know if I can get over it. Okay, we'll see. I'm just gonna take the end of my round nose plier and I'm gonna make a big loop on the end first, okay? Then before I do anything else, I'm gonna open it up, put this on and see if I can span it. Oh, look, perfect, just made it. Okay. Okay, so I'll close that. So was there any comments above the, was there any comments above doing the hammering? Was there anybody who's like, no, you just must hammer, Jamie? Did anyone say that? Hello? So the other side loop can be small. And please note that each time I make a loop, I am definitely not making them in the same direction. Like Mickey Mouse ears, they are always like an S. But look, I totally lie, except in this situation, I made them the same. That is a no-no, because the strength of the loop of it as an S, like an S shape versus a circle, pulling against each other is much stronger. So I'm just gonna cheat and turn this. So please note that other than that time that I just used that as an example, that I do make them in 2 different directions. Okay. And you know, the other thing, you know, this is a meant to be project. Guess how? All of you wire workers out there who are looking at my piece of wire rapidly diminishing, going, she doesn't have that much more. she can't afford to make any more mistakes. It's true. I don't know what this wire is, and I got it off my mixed plate of wires, which has all kinds of wires on there. So they're all not even slightly the same color. So knock on wood that I don't make any more errors. Okay. And I'm gonna make the loop on the other side. Does anybody else out there love eye pins as much as me? I study with Lynn Merchant, so I'm an eye pin aficionado. Okay, question. Did anyone say, Jamie, you must use a hammer and bench block? Nobody? Anyone? Well, I'm gonna hammer that last one out then. Just that last one. Because it never hurts to strengthen your work, especially when, I have like 40 hammers. Give me 1 second. Looking for my square head hammer. Especially when it's that big of a loop. Because I normally wouldn't make a loop this big with a 18 gauge wire. Like I definitely would only do it with a 16, but this is what's in there. And I didn't want to stop to drill my pearl out. Sylvia says, I seem to have a problem cutting the correct length when making loops. Sylvia, I have a little secret for you. I will have a 2-hour class if you want. I think most of you can get it in 30 minutes, but I'll have one in the near future. I'll write it down to do eye pins and teach you how to use different parts of your body for measurements and how to figure out what the length of wire you need per loop size that you use. And in case you're wondering how I got mine dead on every single time, I didn't, but I'm a lot better now than I was 20 years ago. I call these my Elfie hammers because they're so tiny. And you can see that the wire flattened. And I'm going to bring it in tighter to close it. And then I'll bring the other one so you can see what it looks like, hammered and not hammered. Hammered, not hammered. So the surface area is flatter. What time is it? 11:24. Jason's going to be on at 12 o'clock, and I like to watch his 12 o'clock show while I'm editing photos. So that's going to be on the beadgallery.com, and you click on the top live shopping. Today he's going to show jade. We have new jade. Go look at what he's got. And in the live show, you can pick what you want too. So it's like shopping in person. So it's going to be on our website, beadgallery.com. Today is jade. We got some really nice jade, and I think the prices on all of them, you will be quite happy. You get like a jade bracelet for like $35, I think. My friend just got one on her site recently. Okay, cute. Well, now I feel like I have to, nope, Jamie, don't go there. I was gonna say now I have to hammer all. Maybe I'll just hammer the other side on this side. Sometimes I feel pressured, like you're all here and I'm like, I gotta hurry. But I don't think you want me to hurry, do you? It's funny, like beading like this is completely different than teaching a class. Like when I'm teaching a class, I'm so focused on the student. And notice I use the cloth down and I rub on it rather than squeezing the cloth. That came out of necessity because I have arthritis and pinching things for long periods of time is not fun. So I'm going to open this like an ear wire. You're going to swing it back and forth to open. I'm going to put on my first piece and close that. Okay. Open this one and close that. So I do have a basic wire wrap bead jam coming up this Saturday. It's a Zoom. It is posted on our Ohana, which is on Facebook. Remember, you can open either of your eye pins. So I'm going to open up this one. I'm going to open up the easier one because this side is falling into the recessed area. So I was having a little bit of trouble opening that one. But the wire wrap bead jam is going to be super fun. Deb, I hope you can come. We're just going to wire wrap together and that's it. It's not like there's like any top secret plans or anything. I can go over the technique a couple times if you want me to while I work on my personal project. I also have a customer project. I'm doing a protective amulet, basic wire wrap with rainbow obsidian for her. These are for the passes. Anyhow, that's this Saturday, 4 p.m. Hawaii time. In September, we're going to have another one, and that one's going to be at 9 a.m. Hawaii time. I have friends on the East Coast. It's kind of late sometimes when I do these get-togethers because Hawaii is so far behind, right? Anyhow, then the September one will be later in the earlier in the morning, earlier in the afternoon for you guys. It's one of my problems is I never open these as big as I should. All right, here's my earring. Well, ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってください. I'll put this here. Prep for your crown. Bye-bye, Sylvia. Here's my earring. Oh, if you wait, I'll put them on and then I will say goodbye. I have a couple more projects I have to work on. Like, I think I'm going to work on this next. I'll do a YouTube and I'll show you like some different layouts that I have inspiration of doing, like tiny seed beads in between or like one major focal. I'm not too sure yet. Fancy ear wires or simple? I think simple because that earring is getting a little long. But I got it in my earring stash. So another thing, tip of the day, is if you like things a little bit more antiqued, just leave your bags open, especially if you live in a humid area like us, Hawaii. It won't take long for things to antique. So like all my copper beads, when I buy copper, I leave them open because I like it brown. So open up your bags. You can take it into your shower if you notice that things aren't changing as fast as you like. That's another trick to getting the colors to antique or darken. You need moisture. So if you can get some moisture on it, we have enough moisture here. So just leave my bags open. Same with my silver, because sometimes I like a lot of things black. People are like, did you antique that? I'm like, nope. I just been beading for so long that when I buy stuff, I just leave it open. And when I come back to it 5, 6, 7 years later, they're ready to use. Oh, these earrings are nice. Look at that. Okay, I'll put it on my ear. Hello, June. All right. Getting them on. Oh, now I wish I fixed my hair. Well, it is what it is. When I turn the camera around, try to look at my ears, okay? And that's it. My earrings. Oh, they kind of I like them. They're pretty fierce. I love pokey objects, like spear objects. I always feel like it helps get to the point. Stay focused. Yay. Okay. So that was today's project for me. And I kind of was dreading getting to the bills, getting to all the things I need to do. And so I was like, oh my gosh. I promise myself, be creative today. You'll feel better. It's almost like exercise or eating right? You know, if you do something, you're going to feel better. And for me, being crafty, creating, and doing things that involve like spirit, that involve like finishing something, you know, and problem solving, that's like, that's always a winner. Problem solving. I think that helps build confidence the most. So I'm going to wear these earrings. I'm going to think about y'all, and I'm going to tackle my work for the day. Just started. I'm in Hawaii. It is 11:30 right now. The workday is just beginning. Goodbye. Okay. Bye-bye.